Hey everybody, this is Flavio Romeo, and on this episode of the Towncast, we had the opportunity of talking to Mayor Randy George, the mayor of North Haledon, New Jersey, a small community of under 9,000 people, and he shares a story of how he was born and raised in Hawthorne, New Jersey, married, moved up to North Haledon, and became the mayor for 26 years now. And he shares some of his successes and some of his challenges. All right, enjoy the episode, everybody. So here we are, we're in the inner sanctum of North. This is the heartbeat of North Haledon, and we are with Mayor Randy George. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, it's great. I was doing a little research on you, and I found that you and Mayor Goldberg, may he rest in peace, of Hawthorne, were both inducted into the Elected Officials Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So how many years have you been on the job now?
26.
26 years. What inspired you to run for mayor? I asked this of all the mayors I talked to. I always ask the same question because I could never see doing it, ever.
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, it's really a wonderful job because you get to help so many people in North Haledon, in your town.
Yeah.
My wife was the catalyst to this. Our library was only open a few days a week, and she had me go to the library board, and it all started there. I worked with the library. I'm a painting contractor, so I painted the inside and the outside of the library for free. And about a year or two later, I was put on the library board, and I've been working with the library ever since.
Wow.
And from there, a council seat opened up. I put my name in. I was given, I was voted in by the residents. And about 4 years later, the mayor retired, the former mayor, and I put my name in the hat and I got elected. It was a very, very tough election. I only won by 103 votes.
Really?
It was a very tight election. And that was 26 years ago. And every time I run, I virtually have someone run against me. And I seem to prevail. I like to think it's because of the job I do. I interact with everybody. As you were waiting outside, there was a resident asking me to pave their road. And
I love that.
Yeah, and I happen to know her for the last 25 or 30 years. So I ran, got elected, and I have a different style of management. I let the department heads run their department. The police chief, the fire chief, the borough clerk.
You don't micromanage.
I don't micromanage. They come to me and ask me a question. I tell them what I think I would do, but they're free to do what they feel works, and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I really believe I have some of the best people working for me.
Well, I can tell you, in doing some of the research, I found that in Hawthorne, and for those that don't know North Haledon, so North Haledon it's a beautiful small town, under 9,000 people, and it's up on the hill. It's just, I've always enjoyed North Haledon, except for the competition between Hawthorne Bears and Manchester's team.
Yeah.
Never enjoyed that. But I did some research, and I was looking at crimes in New Jersey, and it's amazing how low you guys are in North Haledon against not only other small towns but all of New Jersey and all of the country. The country's crime rate's like, I think it's 4 for every 1,000. Jersey is 2 for every 1,000. North Haledon's like 0.35 for every 1,000, which is testimony to what you're just saying. Let the police department, let them do their thing.
I've hired all of the 26 police officers. Now that's a rare occurrence for one mayor to hire everyone who's a police officer.
Wow.
when I became mayor, we did not have the most friendliest association with the police department. Now, some people get jealous of them because of the money they make. They don't get paid enough.
Agreed.
A police officer gets to see people at their worst.
Yeah.
You know, they have to go into someone's house. They have to deal with someone who's sick. They stop people. You don't know what that traffic stop is going to produce. Yeah. And, you know, so I've picked, this is my this is my fourth chief. So
over your 26 years.
Right. Each one has been better than the next. Now, they were all good.
Yeah.
But each one brought something more.
Yeah.
Our current chief I've sent him to every school possible. The FBI Academy, West Point Academy. He's been to all of them. He has a master's degree in criminology, and our ordinance says you have to have a master's degree in criminology to be the chief. So we make it so that you're very educated and trained. A known fact in North Haledon is every police officer is an EMT. There is no other force where every police officer is an EMT. So what that means is you have a 200-hour trained medical EMT at your door in 1 minute.
Wow. Or even if it's a car accident.
Right.
While they're waiting for the EMTs to come, they can act.
They're there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
That's
in
awesome.
most towns, you have to wait for the ambulance.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the average time for an ambulance is 10 to 15 minutes, and that's a good time because most of them are volunteer.
Right. They're home with their kids or they're home with their families.
The EMT is at your door in 1 minute.
Yeah.
And the ambulance transports you to the hospital. Now, we have an arrangement with the Patterson Fire Department where it costs the residents no money, and they come within 10 and 15 minutes. You know, people say, oh, it takes too long for the ambulance. Well, that's what it takes in all towns. The thing we have, though, is that you have an EMT in 1 minute. Yeah. So we stabilize you, we save your life, and then the ambulance takes you to the hospital. Now, if you need the advanced life support system, that's different. That comes from the hospital.
Yeah, but they can react and act right at that moment.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. And of course,
yeah, that's awesome.
Every police officer has at least a 2-year, but we prefer them to have a 4-year college degree in criminal science.
Sure.
So I'm very proud of this force. All I get is compliments from the residents. I was pulled over, they gave me a ticket, but you know, he was nice. He could have done worse. He did it. I mean, all I get is compliments. And the chief works well with the surrounding towns, Franklin Lakes, Wayne, Haledon, and Hawthorne. Yeah. I, of course, have a soft spot for Hawthorne because I grew up there.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your background.
My wife and I, we went to high school together. I went to Washington School, and she went to St. Anthony's.
So you never saw each other until high school?
Until my senior year in high school. She was 2 years behind me. And we met, and we didn't get along at first, but we did at the end. And when we were going to get married, we were looking for homes, and we picked North Haledon because we didn't want to be far from our parents. So my wife drew a circle in the map, and almost all of it was Bergen County, which we couldn't afford. Yeah. So we came to North Haledon, and North Haledon is a good town. I think Hawthorne we're on the same par with Hawthorne. I just thought it was a great place. I raised 4 girls in this town. 2 of them actually bought houses and live here. My oldest daughter lives in the house my wife grew up in.
That's beautiful.
In Hawthorne. Yeah, so my grandchildren, they went to Jefferson. Now they're going to Roosevelt.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so they're not going to Ashley Heights, Washington School, because I didn't even know it was Ashley Heights till I moved to North Haledon, because I saw the sign over the firehouse.
Yeah.
By the old Triangle Diner.
Yeah,
Ashley
sure.
Heights. I never knew it was Ashley Heights.
I didn't even know. I grew up there my whole life. I didn't know it was called
I didn't know. I mean, and I'm sure that's a derogatory comment, you know, because we weren't the wealthiest up there. But I just think the world of Hawthorne. I mean, Hawthorne Pool, who didn't go?
Yeah.
You know, who grew up there. It was a wonderful town to grow up in. I'm glad my grandchildren are there. I mean, it was very important that someone stay in the house.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
my
that's
wife
beautiful.
grew up in. So I think we're both the same. I got along splendid with Rich Goldberg because we were both RG mayors. Rich
Oh,
Goldberg and
right,
Randy
right,
George.
right.
Michael Pasquale came up with that we were
The
RG mayors.
RGs.
And just this year, I performed a wedding for Michael Pasquale's daughter.
Oh, is that right?
Rich Goldberg was supposed to do it,
Yeah.
and his daughter told him, "I need another RG mayor," so they picked me. So it's nice how we interweave into.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still very strongly connected with Hawthorne.
Well, and I feel like, small towns should be like that. They should support one another, bounce things off one another, and just, have an open door to each other.
Yeah, and I have that same relationship I had with Rich Goldberg with the current mayor, John Lane.
Yeah.
He worked very hard to get where he is. I think he's doing a good job. You know, it's hard to be a mayor in a small town because there's only so much money. You know, people complain about their taxes, but they don't realize you live in the highest tax state in America.
Right.
So, you know, when people say, oh, my taxes are high, they should finish the sentence. My taxes are high in New Jersey.
Right.
You know, because look at my town. For every dollar we collect, I get 33 cents. So someone else gets 66 cents, the county and the schools.
Yeah.
So I have no control over that money. So we have to do what we do. Police, fire, DPW, recreation, senior activities, road paving, you know, leaf picking up, snow plowing. All that stuff has to be done with 33 cents of every dollar.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. When you put it that way, that's
Right?
crazy.
And most of the people are happy. Some people are unhappy, but you can understand that.
Yeah.
The people that come in to see me are unhappy. They're usually unhappy about something else. But they see me, so they say, oh, I'm going to tell him. And I'm happy to be told because that's what we're here for. And I'm sure all small town mayors try to make their residents happy.
Yeah.
And for the most
Yeah,
part,
of course.
we're successful. But sometimes we're not. But it's just like being married. I know my wife didn't like me every day. I know there were some days she didn't think too highly of me. I always thought highly of her.
Of course.
Because that's the correct answer.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, it is. You know, there's always people that are going to complain, and the way you put it was great. When you look at the state of New Jersey being the highest tax state, you know, and when you look at it and say, look what we have right here, look what we have in North Haledon, look what we have in Hawthorne, compared to one street over. When you get into Bergen County and the taxes that the tax rates in Bergen County,
Yeah.
we share the same roads, we go to the same coffee shops, we have the same pizza. You know, so it's all relative. I mean, my parents, when they retired, they said, you know what, this goes back to the early 90s. They said, we're going to retire in Florida. You know, we don't need the big house. We don't need the taxes. So, so they packed up and they moved.
Which is what they wanted.
Yeah.
I will never leave. My children are here.
Yeah.
My grandchildren are here. There's not a chance I'm ever leaving them.
Yeah. And you have your 9,000 friends here in North Haledon.
And most of them are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have to understand that you can't make everybody happy all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always an issue. And you try to work your way through it. And longevity has a lot to do with that.
Because you're dealt so many different hands over the years that,
Right.
it becomes a little easier to understand how to maneuver this way or that way.
Like we're in this old building that's probably 75 years old or longer.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It hasn't worked in decades. There's no elevator. People are jammed into small offices. Look at my office.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm sitting on this side of the camera.
I have a closet in my house bigger than this room, okay? But that's what we're dealt with. But this year, 535 High Mountain Road came up for sale. So we're going to buy it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're going to move the municipal building, the police department, and the library there.
Oh, wow.
And this building, of course, will be knocked down. The library will become a community center / rec building. When I grew up in Hawthorne, we had summer camp. They took us to Yankee games,
Yeah.
Met games. Well, I'm bringing all that back.
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
library is going to become that type of building.
Like a recreation center?
We're going to put a 2-story addition on the building for a full basketball court and a running track. And I even have aspirations of putting a 4-foot pool in the building.
Wow.
So seniors can come and swim, say 1 day a week.
Yeah.
The 3rd grade, 4th grade class wants to have a pool party. It's only going to be 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's less chance of somebody drowning.
Sure.
Of course, there's always a chance, but there'll be lifeguards and stuff. So we're going to bring all that back, bring it back to the way it used to be.
I miss that. Did you used to go to rec? Remember
In Washington
the schools
School,
had rec?
We had rec.
Yeah.
And you'd go there and you would play baseball, basketball. You'd run around like a lunatic. You'd come home for lunch.
Yeah.
Like I lived in a neighborhood where my mother stuck her head out the window and yelled our name and we came back.
So did I.
And she didn't do that too often, though. But, she did it for meals.
Yeah.
And it was just, I'm trying to bring that back because North Haledon used to have that too.
Yeah.
So their taxes went up a little more this year because the building is going to cost $10 million.
Yeah.
But it has an elevator. The police department will be on the entire lower level. All their cars would be under the parking garage. So that protects them from the winter.
Sure.
But it also, people who are not doing nice things drive by and see all the police cars and say, oh, they're not on patrol, I can do something.
Right.
Well, now they won't be able to see that. And you brought up the crime. Our police do such an outstanding job in protecting the residents. But we also protect Eastern Christian High School and Mary Help. And 2 years ago, we put police officers in all the schools, which is kind of unusual, putting police officers in private schools.
Yeah.
But they're in North Haledon, and we're charged with protecting them. And I'm the information officer, and I'm not standing in front of a camera like this and say, well, it was a private school.
Right.
So we have police officers in there, and we pay for them. They pay us a small portion, but we take the lion's share of the money because after the Texas shooting and those police officers embarrassed themselves,
Yeah.
I know the North Haledon police officers, there'll be a log jam in the door trying to get in to go after that shooter.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure. And I'm also hoping, we hope it never happens, but you can't say it'll never happen.
Yeah.
So
You
we
prepare
have
for it.
full-time police officers. I don't have, retired or private. We
Yeah.
have full-time police officers who go for the active shooting training every year, who go to the range twice a year. So these people are up on everything they need to know. And I'm confident that, God forbid something happens, they'll be
You're
there
ready for it.
to do what has to be done.
So 26 years, what has been your biggest challenge or challenges over those 26 years? Is there one thing that has been difficult or that you were able to tackle, but it took some time?
First of all, about a half a dozen years ago, I realized my number one job was protecting the residents.
Yeah.
That's the number one job. Taxes, rec program, schools, they're all very important, but they're not more important than protecting the residents. But after that, it was controlling development. People say, oh, they're doing too much building in North Haledon. We're fulfilling our affordable housing requirement, which you either fulfill or the state sues you and makes you.
Yeah.
And when they
And
make
most people
you,
don't understand that.
and I get it, but my job is to understand it.
Yeah.
And we've had developments in town where the Lakeside development was 3 units an acre. The latest one, 920, which was 180 units, that's 9 units an acre. And there's a proposed one that's 9 units an acre. If that one is approved, we're done building. So COA can keep assessing us numbers, but we don't have any property.
Right.
So you can, right now we owe 341 units, which we cannot do. They can't force you to knock down houses
Right.
to build
right.
affordable
There's no land.
units.
There's no land.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see surrounding towns with at least 3 times that number
Oh yeah.
of 9. So I'm pretty proud of that. Some of the residents think we're overdeveloping, but we're controlling development. You see, the council, the 6 members I sit with, we have been proactive in doing our development in town. We've been setting ordinances and zones so that we control what's built there. I know we just had a meeting yesterday and some of the residents felt we're not doing enough. I can assure them we're doing more than enough. We are controlling it. And if they want to come in and talk to me, I'm happy to show them all the information that supports what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So if residents that are watching this, if there's something on their street or something that's just bothering them, how accessible are you?
I'm the first call to make.
Really?
Why start on the bottom and work your way up?
Right.
By the time they get to me, you're mad.
Right. Is there a number that they can call?
Oh, sure.
I'll put it right on the bottom of the screen.
973
Yep.
427 4129.
4129.
Or you can email me at mayor@northhaledon.com. I answer my emails every day.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing that I love about these small communities is that you are accessible. If people have problems, don't and I know that you guys listening and watching, don't go to social media and complain on social media because nothing gets done. The best thing to do is pick up the phone, call the mayor's office, or just email him directly and say, I have a problem with this and I don't know where to go, I don't know where to turn.
Well, I have a thought. If you're on social media, you don't want the answer.
Right.
Because they can't give it to you. Okay? You make a comment that, like the deer. Now, it's all over social media. They want to have a hunt in town. Not a chance. I'm not having people with bow and arrows or guns walking the streets of North Haledon shooting deer.
Is this a thing that came up?
Well, they feel that we should have a hunt and they should be killed. The answer is no. I will not be a part of that. They go, oh, the deer are eating my plants. You know what the definition of insanity is? You keep doing the same thing, getting the same results. So if you keep planting the same plants and they keep eating it, find another plant.
Right. Yeah.
But North Haledon there's some big lots, but a group of people would have to get together, apply to the DEP to have a hunt, but they would be responsible if anybody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And an arrow shot from a tree has a good chance of ricocheting up from the ground.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of anything where someone might get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not. So the deer ate all my trees. I had 30 beautiful hemlocks, ate the first 5 feet up.
Wow.
They were there for a screen. But the first 5 feet you could see right through. So I had to pay to have them cut. I had to pay to plant them, pay to maintain them, pay to cut them, pay to have the roots dug out, and a fence put in. So I am a victim of the deer.
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of killing them.
Yeah, just work around them.
You just, listen, they're here.
They were here a lot longer than we were.
Well, they go, they're not the same deer. I know they're not the same deer from when I moved in, but still, I'm not going to be a part. I'm told if we were catch one, we can have it sterilized for $500, but it's not a guarantee. Well, I'm not catching deer and having somebody operate on them and then send them back out.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's just something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's everyday life.
If you come to my house, I don't have a lot of plantings because they ate them all. Okay?
It's pretty simple.
And I'm not replanting them.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's something you have to live with.
You have 3 years left on your term?
December 31st, 2026.
2026.
Which is going to be North Haledon's 125th anniversary.
Well, make sure you keep me posted on events, and we'll post it and we'll get it out there. 125 years.
125 years.
Yeah, we just celebrated Hawthorne's.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's an honor to be the mayor of this town.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. I really appreciate the time you gave us.
Okay.
And again, guys, listen, if you have questions, you have issues, stop talking on social media. Don't talk to your friends and strangers. Pick up the phone or type out an email and send it to the Mayor, Randy George. All right, you got to take those. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.